everybody, and welcome to Nick's Stream. This is This Week in Thrifting, Episode 3. Welcome back to This Week in Thrifting, Episode 3. Today we're going to be showing you comic books, VHS, a board game, DVDs, Blu-rays, and some video games. So let's jump into this and see what we got. Okay, first thing I want to show off that I picked up thrifting is a big stack of comic books. Yes, I got a big stack of comic books. We got Marvel's Must-Haves Ultimate Spider-Man. This is a cool comic. It's got 3 comics in one, so it's really cool to have. Got a cool picture of Venom on the cover. I haven't really gone through it yet, but I'm excited to try it out.
Not today.
Oh, that's bullshit!
Next up, we got Hellboy Wild Hunt issue 3 of 8. This is my first Hellboy comic I've ever gone to. I love the first 2 movies with Ron Perlman. The third one kind of sucked, which was kind of a reboot, but the first 2 movies are awesome, especially the second one is probably one of my favorite superhero movies. So I'm excited to get into this comic and check it out.
No!
Next is the Ultimate 6 issue 1. I have no idea what this comic is about, but it's got Spider-Man, Captain America, and Thor on the cover, so that's a pretty stacked cast, so it can't be that bad.
There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
We're not finished yet.
Next one is Batman Legends of the Dark Knight. Now this one's got a pretty cool cover of Batman carrying Jokers, so that's always a good sign for a good book. Next up, I got a Wolverine's Origins comic. It's got a cool cover of Wolverine kneeling with a bloody outfit. Next up, we got another Wolverine's Origins, and that's got Captain America on the cover, and that's also a cool thing to look at.
I hear you're quite an animal.
Look who's talking.
Next up is the one that got me most excited out of the bunch, and that is The Tick and Arthur. If you watched my recent pickup video a couple weeks ago, you would see that I got the Tick game on the Sega Genesis. I love The Tick. It is a cartoon that was super cool back when I was a kid, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun and funny, and I'm assuming this comic book is just as fun.
We must choose battle cries. You know, the cries we always emit just before leaping into battle.
Oh, you mean like, not in the face, not in the face?
Next up, I got some 90s kids fiction books. I love those, as you know. They were very popular when I was a young guy. As I've stated before on this channel, I finally finished the full 62-book Goosebumps collections. Now I'm starting to pick up some of the later ones. So right here, we got 4 Goosebumps books. We got Goosebumps Horrorland, Creep from the Deep. We got Goosebumps Hall of Horrors, The Birthday Party of No Return. We got Goosebumps Most Wanted, The Creature Teacher, The Final Exam. We got Goosebumps Most Wanted, The 12 Screams of Christmas. Okay, another couple books that are like 90s children fiction books. I actually only have one from this series, and that is book 1 from the series, and this is a couple of Animorphs books. So there's Animorphs book 2 and 3, and it was previously owned by Noel.
The other night, my whole life changed when my friends and I were given the power to morph. You know, change shapes, become animals.
Okay, next up, I got a board game, and it's actually quite a valuable board game, and I was happy to get for $15, and that is the Pokemon Master Trainer board game. Yes, this thing is big, and it's a board game. I don't know how to play it or what it's about, but it was a cool find, and I've been looking it up on eBay, and it seems like it goes for $150 to $200 on eBay, so this is a pretty good find for 15 bucks. Everybody loves Pokemon. I haven't checked to make sure all the pieces are in here. I'm just assuming they are. The box is quite heavy. So.
Oh no, it's raining!
Hey, I know. I'll use my trusty frying pan as a drying pan.
Next up, let's check out some VHS. Starting off, I got Predator. Now this one's kind of cool because it's got the foil shiny cover on it, so I was looking for a good copy of Predator. The case is in pretty mint condition. If you don't know, Predator is the first movie with the Predator in it. Yes, the Predator, the one that is in all the Alien vs. Predator movies, the famous Predator.
Ugly mother.
He's got so many movies now, but well, the first one and probably the third one are the only really good ones, to be honest. This is an awesome movie of muscle, masculinity, and everything 80s, fighting an alien.
This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
Next up is The Rocketeer. This is a movie I used to love as a kid. I haven't seen then, so I'm not sure if it holds up or not. But this is a cool movie about a dude who gets a jetpack and becomes a superhero. Always a good time.
Stand clear. What was that?
Next movie is another superhero movie, and that is The Phantom, starring Billy Zane. Now, I picked this one up mainly because it's got this cool purple case and a lenticular cover. When you go like this, he makes it flash his power ring, I guess.
He is only a myth. Soon they will discover the Phantom is real.
Okay, the next one is the VHS that got me the most excited out of all these VHSs I picked up, and that is Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad to Servo and Protect. Now, Superhero Samurai Cyber Squad, if you do not remember this show from the early 90s, it's essentially a ripoff of Power Rangers where they use Japanese footage to create a show. It stars the kid from Mrs. Doubtfire. Dude goes into a computer and he has to fight viruses, which the viruses are produced by the evil, I forget the bad guy's name, but he's voiced by Tim Curry. So this is an awesome show worth checking out if you're a fan of Power Rangers and everything 90s.
A freak accident turns Sam Collins into Servo. His friends join forces in their Samurai's attack vehicles. Together they transform into the Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. Superhuman Samurai.
Here's one which I didn't know existed, but then I saw it and I picked it up on a whim, and that is Xena and Hercules: The Battle for Mount Olympus. And now this is an animated movie based on the Hercules Legendary Journeys and Xena TV shows from the early 90s. Hercules was one of my favorite shows as a kid, and it was cool to see it was an animated movie. I did not know this existed as a kid. I did not know it existed until I found this on the shelf at the thrift store.
Hercules and Xena, the animated movie, The Battle for Mount Olympus. This exciting tale takes the characters from the smash hit television series and continues their journeys to spectacular, wondrous places like you've never seen before.
Next up are a couple cool VHSs I was also super excited to find, and that is Goosebumps Stay Out of the Basement and Goosebumps Terror in the Night. Yes, these are two Goosebumps VHSs from the TV show. As you know, I love collecting these 90s TV show VHSs, one of my favorite things to collect, and I was super happy to get these.
Oh, hello. I'm R.L. Stein. I write the Goosebumps books. Today's story is A Night in Terror Tower. It all begins right here, in the torture chamber. Eddie and Sue are about to make their first visit. It might also be their last.
Next up, I got a couple more VHS, but these are video game related VHS, and some would say some of the best video game movies ever made. And the first one is Mortal Kombat the movie. Yes, this is Mortal Kombat, the greatest video game movie ever made. This is the 1993 movie, not the new terrible one that just came out. This movie is unbelievable. It showed that you could make an awesome martial arts Mortal Kombat movie with great actors, and you don't need to have the blood and gore. It would have been cool if it had it, but it didn't need it because this movie is fantastic. The new one had the blood and gore and it sucked. So this just shows how much better movie making was back then than it is now.
It has begun!
Next up is another video game movie on VHS, and that is Street Fighter. Yes, Street Fighter, Raul Julia's last movie. This movie is deemed just to be hilarious, but it's a fun movie. You can't complain. People say, oh, it's the worst video game movie. I disagree. This is actually a pretty fun movie if you watch it. So check this one out if you haven't seen it.
And who wants to go with me?
Okay, moving on to some DVDs. Starting off with the DVDs, I got 3 of the Ninja Turtles 2000s TV show cartoon DVDs. Now, this show was not ever released in its entirety on DVD, so all you can do is pick up these individual episode packs on the DVD. So I got 3 of these. These are the first of that set that I have. I haven't really been collecting those, so as I stumble upon them, and I'll probably start picking them up to add to my Ninja Turtles collection.
Chain reaction, living underground, jitsu action, it's a shell of a town.
Next one's actually a pretty cool one, which I didn't even know exists either until I found this at the thrift store. And that is Batman: The Return of the Caped Crusaders. What this is a cartoon movie made to continue the stories of Adam West and Burt Ward 1966 Batman TV show. This is a really cool thing to find. I haven't watched yet to see it, but they did actually get Adam West and Burt Ward to come back and voice themselves. So I was really excited to pick this one up.
holy entree, Batman.
You fiends, you will rue this day.
The only rue here is in the gravy.
Next up is another DC Batman animated movie, and that is Batman Gotham Knight. From what I understand, this is a 6-part miniseries or chaptered series of Batman's coming up to be Batman and then continuing on. So I'm excited to check this. Apparently, this is really, really good. DC's animated movies tend to be pretty fantastic, so I'm excited to check this one out. Next up, I got some Blu-rays, and the reason I grabbed these Blu-rays because they were all brand new sealed on the shelf in the thrift stores. Brand new movies. That's why I knew they were worth picking up, because they were new and they were $4 each. So starting off, we have the new animated Scooby-Doo movie, Scoob. I have not seen this. I do not know if it's any good, but Scooby-Doo's always been a fun character to watch, so I'm excited to check this out with my kids.
What's his name?
His name's Scooby.
Middle name?
Doobie?
Last name?
Dude.
Next up was another fun movie which I enjoyed when I watched it, and that is Jumanji: The Next Level, starring The Rock, Jack Black, Kevin Hart, and what's her name? Karen Gillan, which I'm not sure of anything else she's ever done. But this was a fun movie. It was a sequel to the Jumanji reboot, which I enjoyed as well. So it was really worth picking up for $4.
Did I die and turn into some kind of a small, muscular Boy Scout?
Next up is the Fright Night remake with Colin Farrell. I haven't seen this, but I have seen the original, and I remember when I was a kid watching the original being pretty spooked out by it. So this was one I definitely wanted to check out. What Fright Night is essentially a vampire moves in next to this kid, and he's all suspicious of him. I think they made a few movies with a similar storyline where it's like maybe he's not a vampire, but he's like a murderer or something, or the kid thinks he's a murderer. But yeah, this is a cool one to check out. I can't wait to watch.
That guy, your neighbor?
Jerry.
Yeah, he's a vampire.
That is a terrible vampire name, Jerry.
Next up, this one I picked up mainly because the cover art looked cool. I've never heard of this movie before, nor have I seen it, and that is called Monster Trucks. It looks like it's about monsters who take over trucks and become trucks or something. I don't know. It looks like it could be fun. It looks like it's a nice family movie. I don't know. The cover art really intrigued me, so that's why I wanted to check this one out.
Hey, stop.
Okay, next up, I got some video games I want to show off. Let's start with Rayman Arena on the GameCube. So from what I understand, this is an arena-style multiplayer combat game. It looks fun. That particular genre was pretty popular at the time when this came out. So I'm excited to check this one out. They tend to be pretty fun, but I probably got to get a buddy or a couple buddies to come play with me to actually truly enjoy it the way it's supposed to be enjoyed. Next up, I got Constantine on the original Xbox. This game is a spin-off of the Keanu Reeves movie that came out around the same time. It was a decent movie. I can't complain. It wasn't a great movie. It wasn't a bad movie. But I don't know. This game is supposed to be pretty good, so I want to check it out and see if it's any good. Next up, I got Tekken 5 on the PlayStation 2. Now, I'm not a huge Tekken fan. I'm more of like a Street Fighter guy. I prefer Street Fighter and the newer Mortal Kombats. I absolutely love them. Tekken's always kind of like been on the back burner. I even like Soul Calibur more than Tekken mainly. But I don't know, it was a cool thing to check out. I'm not sure, this might be the only Tekken game I have in my collection now, to be honest. Next up, I got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. I've never played this one. I think now I have all 4 of the first Tony Hawks. So this one was worth picking up just to add to the collection to complete the set of Tony Hawk games. So Tony Hawk games are the top skateboarding games ever made, and these are the ones you want to check out. Okay, next up I got another PlayStation 2 game, and that is Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2. Now Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, from what I understand, is a fighting game, and I believe they just announced a remake for this one, or at least for the first one. These are supposed to be pretty good games. I do like the metallic cover art, which is always a fun thing for collecting. Next are the last 2 items I want to show off in this weekend Thrifting's video, and the first one is Zillion 2 on the Sega Master System. I've been wanting to get this game for a long time. I finally picked it up at a really good price, and this game is essentially a side-scroller motorcycle shooter game. A lot of fun. You hop over pits, a lot of cool stuff in this game. I really enjoyed this game when I played it. Next up, and the last thing we're going to show in this video is Metalhead on the Sega 32X. I recently just fixed my 32X, so now it's open for collecting. And now I picked up this game, Metalhead. What Metalhead is, it's essentially a 3D mech game, which is pretty cool on the Sega 32X. The fact that you can pull off this type of game on there. There's not really much slowdown in the game. The game runs pretty good, and you walk around shooting other mechs. It's awesome. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this Week in Thrifting episode 3. If you like what you saw, hit like. If you dislike what you saw, hit dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment down below. Let me know if you want footage of me actually going to these thrift stores and picking these things up, or it just continue the way I'm doing them. Let me know in the comments down below, and we'll see you later. Test, 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 test,